puppy jungle gym. Have you heard of it? You might not have. I think it's the best kept secret of the dog training world. Now I'm here to blow the whistle and tell you all about this great toy, especially for young puppies. Now I'm going to go into why it's a must-have exposure tool for pups, when to introduce it, and how to make one safely, and also how to use one for an older dog. All right, get ready to take notes because this is one DIY project you are going to love. Michelle here with How to Train a Dream Dog. Now, I make these videos just for you puppy owners who might need a few extra tips and tricks. So be sure and subscribe to my channel and you'll get notified when another fabulous video is ready for you. Now, I don't think you've heard much about the puppy raising tool that I'm going to talk about today. Believe it or not, they exist in stores, but they're really pricey. But I think they are one of the most important activities you can do with young puppies. So I'm going to teach you how to make one at home for a fraction of the cost. First, let's do a little debriefing on what this thing is and why I recommend it. The puppy gym is essentially a miscellaneous set of items that hang from a bar or a structure. Now these items vary in how they feel, what noises they make, and how they move. The intention is that these items can provide critical exposure to your young puppy and help them learn about all the new things in a positive way. Think of it a bit like those bars that go across the baby mats. Now the baby lays on his or her back and he plays with or looks at the things that are hanging. This is the same concept, but since your puppy is mobile from a very young age, we added in the element of movement and texture that's going to be a great exposure tool. Now you might be thinking, okay, yeah, this seems cute, but why is this toy so important and it's so different from all the other toys out there? There's a lot of different ways to expose a puppy to new things that he's going to encounter in the world, but this is actually one of the ways to do it from the comfort of home and safety of home. And these new textures and smells, they're not necessarily things he has run into before. And it doesn't really matter what the items are. What matters is that your puppy is learning how to process new and different things. Now, when your puppy is engaged with this toy, he's going to be working on processing all of the new sights and sounds and smells and textures and movement, and also adding in an element of novelty. This is a lot of stuff for a new puppy brain, and you're going to see in just a minute how well puppies rest after they did all that brain work. Did you know that from birth to about 16 weeks of age, your puppy is in a window of socialization? This is the most important time frame in his whole life when it comes to forming opinions about things. The experiences he has during this time are going to go a long way towards helping him feel confident and secure, or insecure and a bit timid. Now, of course, genetics and family line play a huge role in this too, but exposure training can really help combat any genetics that might be working against you when it comes to your puppy's confidence. All right, during this window, we strongly encourage you to expose your puppy to new sights, sounds, smells, and things. So here's the caveat though. These experiences and exposures must be positive in order for them to have a benefit. So simply exposing your puppy to all kinds of new things while he's nervous and scared is actually going to backfire and could lead to an even more timid puppy as he gets older. So during this time, we want you to steadily and positively get your puppy out into the world and watch his reactions carefully to make sure that he's enjoying the process. Now, I'm sure some of you have heard the vet say that your puppy needs to stay indoors during this time before vaccinations are complete. I can't tell you how crazy that makes me. So yeah, sure, vets are definitely thinking about the medical side of things, but I actually have to deal with the behavioral side of that short-sighted advice. So hear me clearly. There is a way to exercise and expose your puppy to new things while still keeping him safe from a distance. So today's toy is one way to do it, but it's still critical that you get your puppy out into the world, and that means, yes, leaving the house. So this video that I posted a few months ago is going to be a must-watch if you aren't sure how to do that. The bottom line is that this toy is part of the overall process of exposure to new things that we suggest you do with your puppy. All right, this exposure promotes early stimulation and cognitive development in young puppies. It's also going to help with confidence building with different textures and noises. All right, so now I've convinced you how important this exposure training is. Here's the next question. When is it best to introduce this toy? Well, the short answer is as soon as possible, before he even comes home, if possible. So a really good breeder might actually introduce this toy. However, when you bring your puppy home, you can do it too. it's not too late. Now, the best time to do this is when the puppy's between 6 and 10 weeks. They will engage with it at the 12-week mark, but their play style is going to be just a little bit different. And it's still a benefit when they're younger. They're going to engage with it at about the 12-week mark as well, but their play style is different, and it's a bigger benefit when the puppy's younger. In just a little bit, we're going to see the differences in how the puppies engage depending on their age. Okay, let's talk about how to make the toy. There's really endless ways to do it. The point is that the objects hang down from above. Now you can get some PVC pipes and some corner joints and set up a square that the puppies can walk through. Or you could get a bar or a rod that goes across the puppy pen or some kind of structure. Try to do it so it allows you to swap things out and keep adding new items. Now I like to use plastic links to attach things. Just keep in mind that your puppy's mouth will be all over these things, so make sure it's strong and safe. Now when you first create this jungle gym, start with these things that are quieter or softer so that the puppy's not afraid of them. Now remember, exposure training is about making it positive. So based on your puppy's reaction, you can slowly build up to a few different items that might be harder or make more noise. Enjoy watching your puppy build up his confidence as he gets used to these new objects and learns how they move. All right, here's just a few things you might try. But honestly, the options are endless. Maybe a wooden spoon or spatula, paintbrushes, rags. How about cleaning brushes or sponges, silverware, empty paint cans, cookie sheets, muffin tins, small pots and pans, and louder chains. Now we had so much fun finding things that we wanted to hang. We actually ended up with way too many items at first, so it was easy to set some aside and add it in later for novelty. Now in a minute, I'm going to show you how the hanging tools differ depending on the age of the puppy. Now the tools that you use should be a variety of things, between soft, quiet things, hard things, some that make noise, and some that are silent. Now, be cautious of too much noise if you notice that your puppy is afraid. You're going to need to reintroduce it in maybe a different way, or maybe even swap out the items for something less scary. Now, before I show you some adorable puppies playing with this toy, I want to make sure you hear me on one very important message. This is a supervised activity. It is not meant for unattended play. You absolutely must be watching the puppy at all times, so that you can get involved if they start engaging it in an unsafe way. Now you're also going to need to be aware if any objects are causing fear. So you can hop in and help your puppy work it out or replace it with a different item for now. Now I'm going to say this one more time for emphasis. This is a supervised activity 100% of the time. Okay, now on to the good part. Let's see this in action. Now I took my jungle gym to a neighbor who had an adorable set of French bulldogs. They were about 6 weeks old when we were there. You've got to see how they reacted. Get ready for cuteness overload. Now as you can see, these guys were so curious. They smelled it, they explored it with their mouths, they let the items brush against their backs and their faces, and they just tumbled all around the entire structure. Now it really was just as adorable as it looks in this video. Notice that they're doing more exploring of it rather than truly engaging with each item. Now there's a few items that really seem to pique their interest though. You're going to see how that reaction changes when a different dog of a different age engages with it. So you're going to also notice that they were really curious about the brush items. Now those are the ones that got most mouthy attention. Now during this time, we were supervising heavily to make sure that nothing could come off and harm them. So for the most part, these young puppies weren't strong enough to pull any of the pieces off. But you know what I always say, it's fine until it's not fine. So we always watch carefully. Do you know what happened after about 10 minutes of those Frenchies exploring this jungle gym? Sleep happened. All the new textures and smells can make for a tired puppy. Now exploring this jungle gym might be like a human who's learning a foreign language and gets immersed in it for a few hours or maybe even a full day. It's exhausting just learning and communicating. With puppies who are doing new things, be sure to watch for signals that they need a nap. That's your cue to get them started on a cool down activity and then off for a nap. Now you don't want to miss out on that cool down window. An overtired puppy is not what you want. If you need help with that cool down period, check out this video here on how to help your puppy relax. Are you loving this content? If you are, you can give me a super thanks with that button below. My team and I work really hard to deliver these videos to you guys each week. and we'd love to know you appreciate them. All right, now let's see how this jungle gym was received when we introduced it to a new dog. This is Feta. We fostered Feta for a little while, and in this video she was about 8 to 9 weeks old. So for Feta's jungle gym, I used a shelf that you might put in a closet or a pantry. It was easy to lay across the playpen area and secure it with some zip ties. Then it was easy to hang things off it using these plastic chain links and a carabiner hook. You can see that Feta was slightly less curious than the Frenchies, but she still really wanted to check things out. Note that with both the Frenchies and Feta, they really like the texture of the brush. So I would recommend have a few varieties of brushes in there. Now you could use cleaning brushes or paint brushes like I did, or even hair brushes. So after Feta got to know these things a little more, she really started to play with them. Now even though Feta is only a few weeks older than the Frenchies, it was still enough to approach this toy a little bit differently. You can see there's a lot more play and it goes beyond simple curiosity. And at one point during this process, Feta got very overstimulated and it tired her out really quickly. Saw a lot of biting behavior, and I knew she needed a cool down and then a nap. The next day we introduced it again with a few different elements and she really enjoyed it yet again. I was really careful to watch for tired behavior and end the session when she started to have enough. Now, both the Frenchies and Feta are young puppies, and you know what happens with young puppies. Potty breaks. So many potty breaks. When a puppy is sniffing and exploring and moving all around, their system is more revved up, which means their bladder will process faster. It also means that they likely won't be paying attention to signals that they need to go potty. So be sure to get your puppy out for frequent potty breaks while engaging with something new like this. And if you're struggling with the potty training, look no further than my new puppy starter kit. You're gonna find all kinds of excellent stuff in there that's just perfect for young puppies. The link's below. All right, lastly, I want you to meet Pickles. Pickles is my Cavalier. He's 4 years old. Now, if you've enrolled in my online course, you know him well because he loves to be my demo dog for fun training games we teach. Now, he didn't want Feta to be the only one having fun, so we made a jungle gym for him too. Now, this is probably not your first choice toy for a dog of this age, but since we have it out for Feta, I wanted to show how different it is for an older dog. Now, you can see that Pickles is curious, but much slower to engage with the items. Instead, he's sniffing them because they have a new scent on them. I chose these toys because these are the kinds of toys he's most interested in playing with. All right, what do you think? Are you ready to make one of these yourself? Now, you might be able to make it with just some items you have laying around the house, or a quick and easy trip to the hardware store. To be honest, I got most of these items from the dollar store. All right, in the below, tell me, what are some of the items that you're gonna hang from your puppy's jungle gym? Oh, and be sure to post a picture of the fun you're having in my Facebook group, Puppy Training with Michele Lennon.